Lemonheads, this rules. Neil deGrasse Tyson went there. You know that annoying hack? That annoying atheist hack?
I got a phone call from an
And his show is big. 4 million views? God damn.
organization called Future of Space. That's all into exploration, not only Earth's surface, the oceans, but space.
Man,
And
he's
they're
an annoying
chartering a
cocksucker,
ship
huh?
to Antarctica. Called me up. Said, Neil, you want to join us? I said, yeah. While my passage was paid for, I gave some talks, interacted with all the shipboard people.
He's
So,
absolutely,
yeah, finally.
absolutely a pedophile.
Antarctica.
Got money. I put mad money on it. Mad money on it. Him being a pedophile. Big pedophile.
We're all gonna die.
He's a Jimmy Savile level pedophile. Promise you. There's a reason he wants to go to
I wasn't the only
space.
person on board who served as part
No
of the
age of consent laws
attraction
up there.
for the seagoing visitors to Antarctica. We had William Shatner, all 93 years of him, still going strong.
Could he die
The
already?
only one among us who has boldly
So
gone where
depressed.
no one has gone before. He's quite a hoot.
When you're that
Scott
depressed,
Kelly,
someone should be allowed to
a
come
shuttle
kill you.
era astronaut, holds the American record for most number of days in space. I also went with my wife and my son, Travis.
No one's ever been to space, actually.
And he
You
brought a
should know
friend,
that,
Kelly.
Neil.
We are going to Ushuaia right now.
You should know
We
they
just
didn't go to
came
space.
from Buenos Aires, and we're on the plane.
And in fact, Travis never left his stateroom without
Who's bankrolling
a
Neil?
GoPro.
Who's
And he
bankrolling this
captured
whole thing?
So much of this trip. Most of it is through his eyes.
Hi, I'm Kelly,
And I'm Travis
and we're here today
at the port in Ushuaia.
in Argentina. Just recently landed. It is personally both our first times going to Antarctica
And Argentina for
and
that matter.
Argentina, which by the way was like, whoa.
Still is like, whoa.
It's
You're in the
still-
southernmost city in the world right
Yeah,
now.
because it's fastest to get to Antarctica from here, we think.
I've been told, I didn't double check this, but I have no reason to doubt, that there's a town in Argentina, Ushuaia, which is the southernmost settlement.
So now, do they
In the world.
fly or do they take a boat?
What an ideal place to serve as a port of departure for Antarctica. Ushuaia.
Can they
is a
fly
town. People
in
go
there?
there hiking. I think it's near Patagonia. Forgive me as a geographically ignorant American. I didn't know that was a place.
He's always
I
shitting
thought
on
it was
America.
a grand, a beautiful
Leave.
coastal town.
Leave, fag.
Fully self-aware of its role in the world as a servant
You shit
of
on a country
explorers
that made you a
as a last
millionaire.
stop
Leave, fag.
before Antarctica. I'm just a city kid.
Dude,
so,
Alan
like, what do I
Dershowitz
know
is
about
always doing
Drake's
that stuff,
Passage?
George Edler Floyd.
In the body of water,
he's doing it all the time.
between
He's trying to get
Ushuaia
Ghislaine
and the
pardoned.
tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, that is
Old
where
G
the
is he.
Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean meet. I don't know if that alone would be sufficient
To
to
me,
make
this
it
is as
choppy
interesting as
it
going to
is,
space. This is
or whether
insane.
there are other prevailing climactic circumstances. But, oh my gosh, you see the horizon do this. And you say, well, why is the horizon doing that? No, the boat is doing that. And
Has he never been on a boat?
yeah, so I didn't do much eating during that time. In fact, plates would slide off of the tables. So there's a period of time there where everybody's basically on lockdown.
God, it would have been great if he died.
By the way, our ship is relatively modern. Just in the last 5 years, it's been put on the water. It made me wonder, the explorers from the 19th century, 18th century, when they hit storms, what would that be like? If that kind of turbulence was doing that to our modern ship,
Yeah, read
I
Moby
can't
Dick,
imagine what it did
Has this guy
to
read?
any of those ancient ships that sailed. the
Have you
open
read
seas.
anything, Neil?
The fun part was
You're so far up your own
conversations
ass.
that I was able to have with some of the other people who served as part of the attraction of the boat. We actually recorded a Star Talk live. My two guests for
I
that
just really
were
wish this
William
corny
Shatner
shit wouldn't be so
and
popular.
Scott Kelly.
The shirt,
We love
the
him. He's a
cadence,
twin,
and everything.
You may remember. And
Really
we've
hate
actually
it.
interviewed him
It's this
before for
like
Star
Cliff
Talk.
Huxtable,
It's just fun to hear his
Fresh
stories
Prince
about
of Bel
spending
Air
as much time as he
type
did in
of
space,
like
almost a year
safe black guy,
in space,
who's
in
white
the
demeanor.
space station,
It's so
International
corny.
Space
The science
Station.
for the win
And we
stuff.
talked about exploration.
I
and
wish it would
discovery.
die off completely
Compared and
forever. But this is an interesting
contrasted
video, and let's
people who
let's
came
keep
to
watching it.
Antarctica on the frontier of exploration of Earth's surface, and how the environment was so hostile to anything that they were accustomed to in Europe or anywhere else in the world, and what the challenges have been for going into space, particularly the earliest ones where there were a lot of uncertainties, and what kind of bravery did that take?
Blah, blah,
what kind
blah.
of earthrise over the lunar landscape that we all recognize. And on that Christmas Eve,
Fake.
with Earth in view
Fake.
in the distance, 250,000 miles distance,
Shut up.
those three
Do you hate
astronauts
when he like opines about like what is it like
Took
for an
turns
astronaut to
reading
Shut up.
bottomed out in the low 30s.
Shut up.
You know, maybe -1 Celsius. It was typically more
I
like
don't care when
35
he
degrees.
starts doing all this like
Here in New
sappy
York City,
sentimental
you have
stuff because he
comparing temperatures.
he
It was
has
typically
no admiration
colder in New York
for
City
human
over
beings
that time
whatsoever.
than it
Anybody
was
that wants to
in
leave the planet
Antarctica.
and is
But
constantly talking about
regardless,
science
when you're out for long periods of
they've
time,
never
you
met a
won't be
person
exposed
that
to
they
these cold
like
temperatures
even a little
for too
bit. They
long.
hate everybody.
That's just not
They're
healthy,
condescending to
particularly very windy
everybody.
conditions. And
They
so
don't like
we
humanity.
each were given a big
If we
old
were all
yellow
wiped out, they'd be
parka.
totally happy with it. They'd be like, well, there's other protozoans and organisms and blah, blah, blah. Even though there are technically no mammals anymore on Earth because of the meteor, you still have... Now, interesting, look at this. Look at this blade of grass. Look at these amoebas and look at...
And we're gonna change into boots because we can't let our dirty shoes get into Antarctica.
Antarctica is an isolated, pristine place. And so they were very careful.
Science isn't
about
real, by the way.
What clothing we were
It's not even
bringing
real.
on this voyage.
It's fake.
The risk.
It's constantly changing
that
and moving.
We as passengers pose
Religion's belief
to
doesn't change.
harming the
Science,
ecosystem
it's
of Antarctica
in flux constantly.
with microbes, organisms, and other.
So which one's more
forms of
real? You
bugs
tell me.
Stowaway in the Velcro of our clothing.
So what did we just do here, Kelly?
So we're getting our outside.
Okay, here we go. There it is. Look at that big iceberg. That big chunk of ice. Ice cap, whatever it is. Agreed, George Heller Floyd. We see eye to eye on everything. You gotta go in a boat that big. I figured there's planes that go there. Is it impossible to fly there? Too cold, I
Another
guess?
striking
Too windy?
feature is the number of icebergs. Very big navigational challenge
That
for
would not shock
the
me at all.
captain of the ship. These icebergs are huge. I was most impressed with what they called tabletop icebergs. These are flat-topped icebergs that are frozen ice sheets, basically, that broke off from their shelf and then are floating. So they don't have the craggy-looking tops that icebergs that cleave off of glaciers
Christ
can,
is king.
can
Very good.
attain. So it's perfectly smooth
Christ
top.
is king.
And I'm looking at one out my window. I'm on the 8th level of this ship. So that means there's 8 stories, 8 floors of icebergs sticking out of the water.
Boo.
Well, we all heard that 90,
Boring.
and they're always repositioning
cool.
themselves. They'll tip, they'll tumble, they'll roll, always to maintain 90% of their volume beneath the water surface. So it's just dangerous. So I never did see it. I was saddened by that.
Shut up. God, he stinks. He
As blue
stinks.
light
I haven't
does.
heard him talk in
As
years.
This Santa hat should get darker and darker and darker.
As soon as I see him, I
think
scroll
eventually
right
it'll just
past
look
his
black.
face.
So things start taking on a bluish hue. Very odd, very spooky even. And as I hold the Santa hat, told you, which is vibrant red as you'd expect any Santa hat to be, the color slowly fades. No red available in the sunlight to reflect off of the red hat so that I can see red. And we got to the bottom, and there are these weird creatures. It looked very alien. One had, I don't know, it looked like a starfish, except it had too many legs. There's like 15 legs.
So they went in this submarine here. Wild to be getting a submarine after those billionaires died, but hey.
Because it's salt water, and salt water freezes at a lower temperature than purified water. So that's another sort of interesting fact, that these creatures are...
Here's an interesting fact for you, Neil. Christ is king and you're going to hell. Okay? Okay, babe. Here's an interesting fact for you. You sit here, oh, well, you know, we're really not sure. And, well, actually, we need to take in more data. And actually, you know, the scientist hypothesis, the way it works, I'm going to tell you right now, we know what's going on. God created this world, and he sent his only son to die for us. And you need to accept him into your heart. You need to acknowledge his existence, both historically and metaphorically. You need to read the good book. Neil, this is why you're a miserable cunt. This is why you wear those shirts. Because you need to accept you're a Western man. You come from a rich culture of Christianity and Jesus Christ and the New Testament. And you need to accept Christ into your heart. Christ is king. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Christ is king. Oh, well, you know, we're really not sure. Where's the wonder, Neil? There's no sense of wonder for you. There's no imagining, no dreaming, no, well, we don't really jump to, we need like hard data. Here's the hard data. Hell is real and it's hot. Hell is hot, Neil. Christ is king. Do you want to go to heaven forever with Christ, Neil? Do you really just want to play with horseshoe crabs in Antarctica the rest of your life, or do you want to accept Jesus into your life? Now, what's it going to be, Neil? Take that shirt off. Put on a nice Lacoste polo. Stop being a freak. Stop being this eccentric, annoying, actually guy. Actually Christ is king.
Perfectly happy under those conditions at the bottom of the ocean. And I said, okay, it's time to ascend back up. So we should see this in reverse. And I'm watching slowly. It happened very fast. Most of the depth that we submerged, there's no red light at all. Get up to a certain depth in the water, and then you begin to see some red come back. It's a striking phenomenon to watch that happen. A bit of optics. You know what else was cool? This ship is also a bit of an icebreaker. It's got a steel reinforced hull in the front. And what we were going to do was plow into one of the ice sheets in such a way that we get sort of wedged there and then step down and walk around on the ice sheets. This is frozen Arctic water. And so we tried that. So we plowed in and we broke up the ice a little bit, but we didn't get a nice nestly feel from it. We backed out, came back in again. And at that point, right at the tip of the bow, the front of the ship, the ice cracked. And then it kept cracking, and it kept cracking. Look at the crack. Oh my gosh. Look at that crack. Oh. And it made a crack a mile long.
This is just atheist Disneyland. So I didn't know they let tourists there to be like, look, you can't see any military bases, right? You don't see any aliens.
People worried, well, now the penguins won't be able to migrate. Dude, penguins swim, okay? Penguins were just happy jumping in the water and back out on the other side. So that was an interesting phenomenon.
It seems harmful
we thought
for the
we'd done harm,
environment.
but no, this happens. Ice breaks and refreezes all the time in Antarctica. Along the peninsula, there are a lot of islands. So of the several places we stopped, we made sure that on the itinerary, one of those places would be the continent rather than just one of the islands off on the peninsula.
Black sand. I don't like that. Kidding. The black sand is eerie. It's hell down there, huh?
What is the only bird that can swim but can't fly?
See, I hate that he does these riddles too. What is with these Snapple Cap fact riddle bullshit? Just tell us. He loves to ask the question, so you sit there and you don't know the answer, so you sit there and you just feel dumb, and then he gives it to you. That's what he loves doing. He loves being the pop quiz teacher. He loves people to fail the assignment. He doesn't want you to get it right. He wants to have information you don't have, and then he gives it to you. And then you worship at his feet.
What is the only bird that can swim but can't fly? Penguins. By the way, they should rename Antarctica Penguin Land. Penguins everywhere. Great. Even on isolated ice floes. They swam there and then they swim back. There's bajillion of them.
They're so cute.
And they stank. That's worse than if you stink. You stank. And they're so clumsy. They're hilariously clumsy. They're like as high as my kneecap, waddling around.
When you have no spiritual inner life, you love making weird, cheesy, lame, like dad jokes like that all the time and then laughing.
Tripping on each other.
I believe that. I believe if you're like severed from like having any inner life, it's like Will and Don pointing at a live, laugh, love Guy Fieri, like Bronco berry sauce sign, donkey sauce, ha ha, that kind of shit. That's Neil.
And I'm realizing, why are they so clumsy? This is embarrassing.
Neil, you're living in sin. You're going to die and burn in hell forever. Trust me. Christ is king, Neil. You should know that.
What does nature have to say about this? And then
you know about all the wonders of the world, Neil. You know about all these you know the science and physics of everything. This whole thing is complex. It's a miracle we're here at all, and yet you can't accept Christ as king. It's unbelievable.
You don't fucking know anything. I know something that makes me better than you. Fucking
Neil deGrasse Tyson, everybody.
Bears in Antarctica.
What was the alien thing you said he saw?
And almost all the world's free penguins live and thrive there. By the way, I also saw humpback whales and orcas. It's spooky to see the orcas swim in unison. One of our tour guides described that as analogous to a wolf pack. And I couldn't view the night sky because there was no night sky. It was eternal twilight before the sun came up. So there you have it. Bucket list checked off.
And then we had as many children as we wanted to ourselves, and no one could hear their screams. The end. That's bizarre. What is all this stuff?
Thank you to Daniel and Tristan from Future of Space.
See, the thumbnail is clickbait though. So look at this thumbnail. It says it looked like an alien. Damn clickbait. Goddamn clickbait.